What's up, y'all? It's your man, Derek Andre, and welcome to Who is Derek Andre TV. And today's topic is cheating. Can the relationship still be saved? We're going to get into it right after this. This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre. All right, y'all. Welcome to Totally Disgusted. I am your host, Derek Andre, and you're watching this on Who is Derek Andre TV. And I'm going to do things a little differently today. I'm going to save all the housekeeping stuff for the very end. We're just going to jump right into the conversation. Today's topic is cheating. Can the relationship still be saved? Cheating. Man, that is part of the holy trinity of ways to destroy your relationship. There's cheating, there's abuse, and there's effing up the money. Those are the holy trinity of how to screw up your relationship. Cheating, abuse, and effing up the money. If you do any of those three, you are probably going to be spending a lot of quality time alone. But of those three today, we are going to talk about cheating. And can the relationship be saved? Now, I don't know about you, but I have been cheated on in the past. And there is no worse feeling than giving your all to someone and for them to just basically throw it away and go and get involved in a relationship, physical or otherwise, with someone else, especially if you haven't really done anything to provoke that, okay? Because, first of all, cheating, and I believe this with every fiber in my being, is one of the most selfish acts that a person can do in a relationship. Cheating is the most selfish act that a person can do in the relationship. Yes, abuse is bad. Yes, effing up the money is bad. But cheating is, in my opinion, one of the worst. Because all you're doing, in most cases, is giving in to your weak physical desires. That's basically all it is. You're just giving in to your weak physical desires. And that goes for both men and women. Because the one thing about cheating, it has absolutely no gender attached to it. Because it always has to be somebody else involved. So cheating is by far the most selfish act a person can do in a relationship. Can you come back from it? Is it possible to come back and have a healthy relationship with someone who has cheated on you? Is that possible? Do you think that you can fully trust them to do what they say they are going to do? If they say, hey, I'm leaving right now, I'll be back, I'm going to hang out with such and such and so and so. Do you truly believe that that's what they're going to do if they've shown you that they will cheat. I don't know, man. I don't know if you can come back from that. I've tried to come back to a relationship that I was cheated in. It was my marriage, my first marriage. I tried with every fiber in my being to see if I could overcome the fact that she cheated on me. Now, the marriage never, once it started falling apart, there was no coming back. But I was holding on because if there was ever a chance that it was going to work, I was going to try to fight for it because we had, a child together. And I didn't want my child to grow up being in a broken family. It already had one baby that I was not married to, the baby mama. So I was trying not to do, the whole have another child and then raise this child, separately from the person that I birthed the child with. And I was trying not to do that. So I was fighting for it. I was trying to hold on. But every single time she would go someplace or some dude or something I would never know if that was somebody, because she didn't just cheat once. She cheated multiple times. So then it makes you wonder, damn, who are you speaking to when we go out? Because, even though the marriage was basically falling apart, we would still try to go out from time to time, go to the mall and take the kids shopping and do some kind of quote unquote family stuff. But every time she would speak to a dude, I was like, damn, did she sleep with him? Cheating is also embarrassing, believe it or not, for the person who got cheated on. Because you oftentimes wonder if people are thinking, what did so-and-so do that was so bad to make him or her want to cheat on them? You may not have done nothing. But because people have a tendency to build an entire story around a single act, then you feel like, damn, wonder what people think of me. And then on top of that, if you and this person are actually able to work through your differences, then people are always going to be looking like, she took him back. He took her back. He ain't no good. She ain't about shit. Can you come back from it? Let me know, y'all. Let me know. Can you come back from it? If you're on the live right now, let me know if you can come back from cheating in the chat. Let me know if you can come back from cheating, because I think that is probably one of the most difficult things to come back from. If a person has a gambling problem, I think you can come back from a broken relationship for a person who has a gambling problem. I think that's a little bit easier. Unless it's like extremely bad where they done lost the house and the car. But I think that you can kind of come back from a person with a gambling problem. Cheating, I don't know. I feel same with abuse. A physical abuse, I feel like that is one of those things that it's hard to come back from. Because once a person hits you, every sudden movement they make, you automatically gonna snap back into the mindset of, damn, I thought you was getting ready to hit me again. And it's the same way with cheating. You want to believe that a person only made a mistake, especially maybe if it only happened once. Okay? If it only happened once, okay, that's one thing. But if you're a serial cheater, man, come on now. So listen, in my first marriage, I already stated that I was cheated on. All right. So there's a couple of things I could have done in response to me being cheated on. You know, I could have maybe just one thing. I could have went out, a couple of things. I didn't get the divorce, which is what ended up ultimately happening. But the divorce was going to happen whether there was cheating or not. But the other thing is I could have retaliated by cheating too. But see, I didn't want to do that. And here's why I did not want to cheat while I was married, okay? I didn't want to cheat while I was still married, regardless of the fact that I was being cheated on. I didn't want to cheat while I was married because I knew that I would get married again. I knew that because I like being married. I love being married. There's a lot of things in life that I don't like, but being married is not one of them. I actually love and enjoy being married. I love the companionship. I love the camaraderie. I love to have somebody that I can just sit up and be goofy with, and she can be goofy with me. I love that. Okay, so I love being married. So I knew that I was going to get married again. And I also knew that the subject of infidelity would come up. I knew that it would come up. And so I knew that if I had retaliated on my ex-wife during our marriage while she was cheating on me, had I began to cheat on her, that I would not be able to look my future wife in the face and with honesty say to her that I have never cheated in my marriage. Once you cheat, there's no undoing a cheat. You can't unsex somebody. I don't care what you do. You can't unsex somebody. There's no movement that the human body can make that will allow you to unsex somebody. If you are physically intimate with someone else, that is it. It is the end all be all. You cannot undo that. So once it happens, it happens. And so I did not want to have to look at my future wife, who was my current wife, and say to her, yes, I actually cheated while I was married. I did not want to have to do that. So I did not cheat. Because the moment you tell somebody that you're interested in, the moment you tell somebody that you cheated, no matter how awesome the date is, no matter how much of a good time y'all having, no matter how much wonderful stuff is going on between y'all, the moment you tell somebody that you cheated, especially in your marriage, that seed is planted in the back of their head and it will never, ever not grow. It will start growing the moment you say, yeah, I cheated in my marriage. If you're just dating, okay, there's no legalities involved. You ain't gone to the altar. You ain't got, no. Okay. All right. If y'all just dating, okay, maybe, just maybe, it ain't as bad. It's still bad. Okay. Especially if you've been dating for years. But if you're dating and you ain't shared no vows, you ain't done okay, it's still bad, but it is not the same, in my opinion, as cheating on your spouse. The person that you shared vows with. The person that you promised to cherish. To love, respect, until death do you part. If you're just dating, okay, it is what it is. I just know not to give you no more, nothing, nah. But see, when you married, you start getting things together. You start getting houses and cars. You know what I mean? You start building a life together. That's a little bit different. Because now you got some vested interest in that person. Y'all got time and stuff together. And so now when you cheat. Ain't no coming back, man. I don't think a relationship will ever be the same once you break the element of trust. Once you break that element of trust, once you say, hey, yeah, I don't know how you come back from that. I also don't understand how people, a single person, can get involved with a married person and then later marry the very person that they was cheating with and get a good night's sleep. How the hell can you knowing that this person is cheating, how in the hell can you justify getting involved with them on a serious level and then getting married? It's like a person with no kids having a baby by somebody who got 12 kids and they don't take care of them. What makes you think that all of a sudden this person is going to have a moment of clarity and decide, you know what? I done had 12 kids. I think I'm going to take care of this 13th one. No. No. If he ain't took care of the first 12, he ain't going to take care of the 13th one. It don't work like that. So if you involved with somebody and they got a husband or a wife and then you marry them, do you honestly think that they're not going to cheat on you too? Ain't no cootie and no peenie that good that a cheater ain't gonna spread it around. They gonna spread it around. It's what they do. You gotta know it's what they do unless you were completely and utterly in the dark. Unless you got involved with somebody who was so cold with the game that they cheated and stayed cheating until they got divorced and then was able to marry you and you never knew the difference. If that's the case, then hey, I ain't even mad at you. You legitimately didn't know. But we live in 2025. If you want to know if a person is married, you can find out. Maybe 40, 50 years ago, you couldn't look up and do the research to see if somebody was married or not. But nowadays, it's a quick Google search. You can find out if somebody is currently married. So there's no excuse for dating somebody that's married and then saying, I didn't know. Man, you could tell that to somebody else. You could have found out if you wanted to find out. You could have found out if you wanted to find out. So why do people cheat? Why do you think people cheat? Why do you think people cheat in the first place? That's probably the biggest question of all is why do people cheat? Is it because they're totally unhappy in their current relationship? Man, I guess that could possibly be true. Is it because they want to see if they can please another partner the way they're currently pleasing their current partner? That could be true. Is it because they can't get none at home because the person is frigid or, whatever the case? That could be true. But to be totally honest with you, there is legitimately no good reason to cheat. If any of them reasons come up, there is none. There is none. I was about to say the only reason. There is no only reason. There is no only reason to cheat on somebody. Cheating on somebody is a cop out. If you're unhappy in the relationship, take your ass on. You ain't got to stay. If you just want to see if you can please multiple partners, then get a divorce and go out there and get your promiscuous freak on with as many people as you can to see if you can please these many people or have. Do that. If the person that you married to just don't want to give you none, then go on about your business. Go on about your business. You know, I hear a lot of people talk about they have these open marriages. These open marriages where they can go out and because they have permission from their partners, they can go out and they can have, they can have sex with other people. I don't know if I like that or not. I don't think if my wife came in today and said, you know what, babe, I think we should go ahead and have an open marriage, and you could just come home to me and I'll come home to you. But, from time to time, I just think I just want to sleep with somebody, different. And I think my honest to God response to that would be, so how soon do I need to sign these divorce papers? Because I'm not giving you permission to go and sleep with other people. If you feel so compelled to sleep with other people, if you feel so compelled to go out and then just go be single. I understand from a man's perspective. I understand that there are actually more women than there are men. Let me see what the statistics say. Let me see what the statistics say. How many more women on the planet are there than men? Let's see. I could be wrong. Let me see. How many more women are than men in the world? All right, let's see what it says. It says, let me see. I was totally wrong. No, I was totally wrong. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me switch this over so y'all can see what I'm looking at. Hold on. Let me pull this up so y'all can see what I'm looking at. All right, hold up. Let me get over here. I got to push all these buttons. All right, let's see. All right, let's go down here to browser. We're going to go to, click the wrong thing. We're going to go to here. We're going to go and see what this says. All right, let me see. Transition. All right, it says there are slightly more men than women in the world. Slightly. With an estimated 44 million more males globally as of 2025. That means for every 100 females, there are approximately 101 males. So there are slightly more men than women. See, I had that all jacked up. I was under the impression that there are more women in the world than there are men, but apparently I am wrong. There are more men in the world than women. So if anybody should be cheating, I guess it should be the women. If you just need, because there's more men out there, you got more options. I mean, maybe one more option out of one, but just more. So anybody could get if there was ever a pass for cheating, women seem like they can get that pass. Now, that's globally, all right? So, it changes by city. Like, I live in Atlanta, all right? And so there are definitely more women in Atlanta than there are men. And so there is a bit of a man shortage in Atlanta, and the dudes take advantage of that. When I lived in the Virgin Islands, if I remember correctly, I think there were probably a few more women on island than there were men. So, all right, I can. If there was ever be a reason to give somebody a pass, I would have to give it to the women. But I ain't giving y'all no pass because there ain't no good reason for nobody to be out here cheating and fornicating and carrying on like that, man. There's just no good reason to do it. And once it happens, man, ain't no coming back, man. Especially if you commit to somebody. If you say to this person, hey, I want to give my life to you. I want to be with you forevermore. I want to share every aspect of my life with you. And that person says these same things to you. And then they go back on their word, man. And then that messes with you. That messes with you for a while. Because then you begin to wonder if everybody moves like that. Is everybody a cheater? Is everybody a cheater? Am I going to be able to trust anybody? You know how I found out my ex-wife was cheating on me? The first time? One of my friends saw her at the mall with a dude coming down the escalator. And they was like holding hands and doing something. He said that when she saw him, her whole posture changed. So he's like, hey, D, I saw your girl at the mall, man, and she was with some dude, man, and it just didn't look right to me. So I ain't say nothing. I just kind of watched her movements, and it started to become very obvious that that's what was happening. She was cheating. Then another time. There was multiple times. Then another time. My sister, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, they had a condo. And my sister's younger brother was staying at the condo. Well, he had a friend. Well, his friend and my ex-wife was getting it on. And so when we was at the mall one day, I saw my brother-in-law, and I go to introduce him to my wife because he's never met her. And he said, hey, and I ain't gonna say her name. How you come back from that? How do you come back from something like that? How do you come back from being cheated on, man? Especially if you didn't do nothing worthy of being cheated on. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't think there's a real good reason, but I'm sure somebody in their mind can justify their reason for cheating. I can't think of a single good reason to cheat. I can think of several good reasons to go on about your business, get your divorce, live your life, do your thing. But I can't think of one single reason to say, you know what, cheating was warranted in this situation. Because as long as there is a divorce court, as long as there are attorneys, there is no reason for you to cheat. And then as a cheater, what does that do to you? Do you realize as a cheater that you do not hold the capacity to fully commit? I don't care who you are. They say millionaires don't like to hang out with people. True millionaires. I ain't talking about these internet millionaires. I'm talking about true millionaires. Don't like that have built like empires. Don't like to hang out with people who are not married. Don't like to hang out with people who are cheaters, because it speaks volumes to their character. So if you are a person who cheats, how do you process the fact that you are not capable of honoring commitments? Because that's exactly what a marriage is. Any relationship, but a marriage in particular. If you are a person who cheats and you trying to go into business with somebody, how do they know that you are not going to flake out on them and mess up the company? How do they know you're not going to try to swindle them and get more money out of them? Because cheating is a character flaw. Cheating don't just affect romantic relationships. It affects all relationships. I don't want to be around nobody who is okay and comfortable with being unfaithful. I don't want to be around people that have a history of being unfaithful. I just don't, because I don't trust your character. All of the guys that I hang out with are married and they're faithful. They're married, and if I was a cheater, I couldn't go to them and be like, yeah, man, I stepped out on them. They'd be like, man, what? And you telling me why? You think that's cool? You think that ain't a good look? And they know damn well they can't come to me and be like, yeah, man, no, man. If you do not want to be in that relationship, if your sex drive is that strong, then go just get a divorce. I don't like divorces. I think divorces are a cop-out. In most cases. Not all cases. In most cases, I think divorces are a cop-out because people just legitimately don't want to work through their problems. A lot of times people just want to be like, oh, you know what? This ain't working. I don't want to put in the work. I don't want to do this, and it's over. Man, I ain't got time to be messing with. No, I think divorce is a cop-out. If you decided that you wanted to marry this person, you decided you wanted to marry them for a reason, then you need to figure out how to work it out. And if you didn't do the research before you got married, then that's your fault. That's your problem. But I think marriage is a cop-out. I think most marriages that end in divorce can be saved if the two parties involved are willing to be honest, open, and come clean. Marriage is not easy. It's not. There's nothing easy about spending the rest of your life with one person. Ain't nothing easy about that. There is nothing easy about that at all. Spending the rest of your life with one person sounds scary as hell. Till death do us part. Ain't nothing more permanent than death. So that means you got to stay with this person until you die, regardless of what kind of life y'all having or had. I mean, you can get divorced, but the whole premise is to stay with that person until you die. That means that you got to work through your problems. That means that you got to sit down and talk through stuff. That means that you got to figure out how to make it happen. But most people don't want to do that. And instead, they would prefer to just cheat. They'll go out and they'll mess around on their spouse because they're unhappy at home. No, man. You go home and you try to figure out how to fix it. And then if you realize that it is irreparable, then you go ahead and you get with that attorney and you figure out how to bring it to an end. And y'all go your own separate ways and then leave each other the F alone. Don't be coming back, because once you done went on about your business, just leave that person alone. But don't cheat. Don't cheat on a person, man. Don't cheat. It is just that simple. If you're that weak that you just can't control yourself, then you need to seek some help. I know that there are people that use intimacy as a vice, the same way people use alcohol and drugs. I know there are people that use intimacy as a vice. But if you are married, don't do that, man. What if you bring a disease home? You know what I'm saying? More, even worse, What if you bring a baby into the world? And I know somebody who got cheated on and their spouse brought a baby into the world. I'm very open-minded. I'm very loving, and I'm very caring, and I'm very a bunch of things. But one thing I'm not is open to raising your cheating child. Your adulterated adolescent. I don't want to have nothing to do with a child that you cheated on me with a parent, and then think I'm supposed to be I bet I won't. I bet I will not. Oh, people will be like, oh, well, the baby ain't got the hell the baby. I don't care. It's hard enough to take care of your own kids. You mean to tell me you would expect somebody to take care of and love a child that was brought into the world via adultery? How would you love that child? Jesus would have a hard time doing that. How would you love a child that you know eventually is going to look just like the person that your spouse had that affair with? Because you know that's what's going to happen. You know damn well that baby ain't going to grow up looking like your spouse. That baby going to come into the world and within about 6 months going to start looking exactly like the person that they cheated on you with and got that baby. So that means you're going to have to look at their ass in that baby face. No, man. So then the baby is now thrust into the middle. Because now the baby going to be missing a parent. The baby ain't going to know but one side of his genes. You see how cheating can literally just create all sorts of unnecessary issues, man. All sorts of unnecessary issues. That's why it ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. I would much rather y'all go your own separate way than to cheat. Man. That is such a flipping cop-out, man. It is such a cop-out to cheat on somebody when you have options. If you didn't have no options, which I can't even imagine what that could possibly be, I don't know. That's like people that get involved with folks that's locked up and they stay faithful. Man, listen, just go ahead and divorce. And then when that person get out, I don't know, man. That's a whole nother. That's a whole. I'm gonna have to make that a whole nother topic for this podcast, man. Because I don't even know about that one, man. Somebody get locked up, and then you gonna wait on them. They get 35 years, and you gonna wait on them? No, man. So when I was separated, I used to host the hottest open mic night in St. Louis. It's called Spoken Word Grooves at Legacy Cafe. And this young lady came up. I was still married to my ex at the time. We were separated. This young lady comes up to me and she was interested in me. And she was pretty. I would have been interested in her too. But she was interested in me. We were talking. And she asked if I wanted to, go get something to eat, grab a bite. I was like, well, nah. I said, I ain't going to do that because that would be, in my eyes, considered a date, and I'm still married, separated or not. I can't do that, And her response to me was, "Well, that's okay, because I'm separated too, and I'm married." And I was like, "You think that make it better?" Because hear me when I tell you, it is a very rare occasion where both people want the divorce. It's usually an occasion and a situation where one person wants a divorce and another person is usually not all that enthusiastic about the idea of getting a divorce. And so I was like, listen, she's like, well, we've been separated for like 10 months or something. I said, listen, I don't know where that man's head is at. I do not have any desire to be someplace with you in public while I'm still married too. Out someplace with you in public. This dude show up and he decide that he don't want to be divorced no more. He don't want to be separated no more. And I got his wife. Oh, hell no. I told her, I said, listen. If you are still interested, once you're divorced, once I'm divorced, then we can revisit this. But I'll be damned if I'm going to go out with you, separated or not. You, me, I don't care. I am not going out in public, in private, with somebody who is married. I'm just not going to do it because it would not sit right with my conscience. It just would not feel right. Knowing that I'm doing something that I feel so adamantly wrong about. I feel like it's so wrong. You know, I couldn't respect myself. Regardless of what my ex was doing, I couldn't respect myself knowing that I went back on my vows. It could have been something just as simple as dinner. It don't matter. It don't matter. If you ain't who I'm married to, that's why I don't go places where I could find myself in a compromising situation. I don't go. If I can't bring my wife, I ain't going. If it's going to be some single women in the house and I ain't going. I don't go no places where there's a lot of alcohol. I don't go none of because I don't drink. So I don't go no place where there's a lot of alcohol because I don't want nobody. Nah, we ain't taking them. We ain't playing them games. I stopped driving Lyft at night because I didn't like driving home drunk women. I didn't. I don't like drunk women, first of all. And I'll be damned if I'm going to be driving them home. I stopped doing Lyft at night because I did not like driving drunk women home. Back when I had my locks, I had my hair down. They all the time. They want to touch my locks and tell me how beautiful that. Nah, I'm going to drive your ass home in the daylight. Nope, I'm not. No, we're not taking them chances, man. No, man. So I am very careful about where I go and what I do so that I do not end up in a compromising situation. I do not cheat. I can honestly say that with absolute confidence and honesty. I don't cheat. I've been married twice and I've never cheated in my marriage. When I was single and dating, I'm doing my thing. And I'm going to let you know, hey, we ain't committed. I'm just out here doing my thing. But the moment I make a commitment, I'm going to honor it. I had locks for 25 years. People used to always be like, what? You know, what's up with your locks? And what did your locks, teach you? Locks taught me commitment. They taught me commitment. They taught me if things start out ugly. Because locks, when you start off with your locks, especially me, I started off with my locks. I had a low haircut similar to what I got right now. I had a low haircut. But I knew that I wanted to let my locks grow. And it was ugly. But I had to commit to it in order to get past the ugly and into the beautiful. Okay? And that's the same way it goes with a marriage. Early on in every marriage, it can get ugly. It's going to be a challenge. There was a hummingbird. It's going to, sorry, that's my ADHD. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be ugly early on for the first several years because you guys are trying to figure it out. You're trying to bring in two households together. You're trying to do a lot of different things all at the same time. And it's not going to be easy. You got to understand and exercise commitment. Because most marriages, they don't wait till they've been married for 40 years and start cheating. Most marriages happen. Most cheating happens pretty much early on in the marriage. Now it might eventually happen later in life, but most marriages, if somebody gonna cheat in a marriage, it ain't gonna be too long. And the truth be told, you probably know that person is a cheater, because there's a lot of times people ignore red flags early on in the dating process that would tell you that this person ain't no good. If they constantly trying to hide stuff, if they, their whereabouts always changing, you can't touch their phone, this, that, and the other. Do you know that when my wife and I started dating, and then we got married, that was still back in the days where we had a landline, regular phone, a house phone. I had the same phone number when I was single as we did when we got married, and I brought that phone number to our house, and not a single time did nobody call to talk to Derek, because I cleared the plate. Man, don't call me. Everything that I might have been. Nope, it's over. It's over, man. So yeah, can you come back after cheating? I don't know, man. Y'all have to let me know in the comments, man. Let me know in the comments if somebody is cheating on you, can the relationship still be saved? And if you think the relationship can be saved, tell me how. Tell me how the relationship can be saved if you think it can. Because honestly, I don't think so. I think once the seed of infidelity is planted, I don't see how it won't just grow and grow and grow. Especially if you know that this particular person may have had a history of cheating. Now, if they only maybe, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. If they only cheated once, and it was before you, and they realized that was bad or wrong, maybe, just maybe, they won't be inclined to do it again. But if they have a history of infidelity, you better leave them alone. If they're comfortable with dating somebody, if a person is comfortable with dating you, and you married, if they make it clear that they're okay with that, you better stay away from them. So let me know in the comments, y'all. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the relationship can be saved after cheating? All right. So if you are new to the channel, please, by all means, consider clicking that subscribe button and the reminder bell so that you never have to miss another video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and by all means, share it. All right. Tell some people about the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel, and every action that you make has an equal reaction by letting people know that this is a cool channel and it's got some pretty good content on it, and it will grow from there. And so if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. All right, listen, I'm also having a fundraiser. All right. So I just got a new job, y'all. So my podcast, I'm gonna have to figure it out. The live, I might not do them live anymore. I might just have to pre-record them and then upload them like normal. But I got a new job, y'all, and I'm having a fundraiser because if you've been following me for the last, I don't know how long, you know that back in October, or I lost my car, basically. It went in the shop and this, that, and the other. Well, anyway, I got a new job and I need to be able to get back and forth to work. So I'm having a fundraiser through product sales and stuff, and it is available on my website, DerekAndre.com. So if you go to my website, DerekAndre.com, and let me pull it up for you so you can see. And you click on where it says, I got to switch it over. Hold on. And you click on where it says at the top, it says Uhuru. That was what I named my old car. It was Freedom. If you click on Uhuru and you read over this little bit of a story here, you'll see what's going on and how I ended up losing my car. And it was very painful because I truly love my car. It was a gift to myself for several years of hard work. And to lose it the way I did was devastating. But that's neither here nor there. But if you are interested in helping me get a new car, my first day at work is September 2nd. Consider buying some merchandise. Consider buying a t-shirt. Consider buying some books and stuff like that. Consider making a few purchases, and maybe, just maybe, I can get a car so that I don't have to try to figure out how to get to work. I don't have to depend on anybody else to get me to work. Lyft is too expensive, and there's no public transportation. So I'm trying to raise money so that I can get another car, and I can't finance one because my car was my livelihood, and when it went down, it completely crushed everything. And so my credit took an enormous beating. My credit score has dropped literally over 300 points in the last 10 months or so. And I can't finance anything. So I need to be able to buy a car outright. So I'm just trying to raise some money through product sales. And if you want to just donate, you can. Up here at the top, you see the Cash App, the Venmo, and the Zelle. If you want to just donate, you can. But I'm trying to raise some money so that I can see if I can buy a car between now and September 2nd. Okay. And if you see this and you want to share it with someone, please, by all means, feel free. All right. All right, y'all. So that is my show for today. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I truly do. I appreciate you for tuning in. And listen, just let me know what you feel in the comments. You see the topic, cheating. Can the relationship be saved? Let me know if you think it can or if you think it can't. And then let me know why. All right. I love y'all, man. Be peace, be love, be one. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Totally Disgusted. Make sure to like, comment, and tell a friend.